Good morning, students. Welcome to Microeconomics, and I am Grace Nabalanan, your instructor from the College of Business. So today we're going to talk about microeconomics. The following are our topics: a society with limited resources, unlimited human ones, origin of economics, scarcity, the role of the government, and uses of microeconomics. Let's have an overview of what microeconomics is all about. So the life of an individual, whether a farmer, fisherman, a businessman, housewife, or student, is related to economics. For instance, the wise use of money, proper allocation of resources, and profit maximization constitute some of the activities that each individual do, and if done properly, the life of such individual becomes better. Economics is not only for individuals but also for the society and national economy. So, for a short explanation of this one, if you are going to make use of whatever resources you have and you are going to make your life better, then your family becomes better because you are part of it. Your community becomes better. Your country is going to become better. And the universe will become better. So it's what we call as a rippling effect, and vice versa. So what if you don't use your resources, you destroy your resources, you are actually destroying the future of your children, our children, you destroy our community and you destroy our country. So let's go to the um, fundamental reason why we talk about microeconomics. So first and foremost, not everyone has the inputs of production like land, labor, machines, equipment, raw materials, and entrepreneurial ability. So if I'm going to ask you, do you have this all? Land? Do you have land? Labor? Do you have employees? Do you have the talent? Machines? Do you have machines to do products and services, equipments, inputs, and skills, managerial abilities, and so on. So there are some countries with abundant land and labor, but they have limited supply of machines and competent managers. In short, there's no country that has everything. Okay? And same is true with individual people. There are some of us who are gifted with material things, and there are some who are gifted financially, but not intellectually. There are some also who are gifted with land, labor, and machines, but they are not gifted physically. Okay? So we don't have all. That is why we are going to talk about microeconomics, how to manage what we have so that we are going to create outputs, big outputs based from these inputs that we have. Okay, so an example is Japan, a leading industrial country, does not have enough farmland and raw materials. So they have, machines, intelligence, they have manpower, but they don't have land. Okay, and they don't have raw materials. There are few trees, few bamboos, few other inputs which are going to be used for their manufacturing or for their industries. Saudi Arabia has oversupply of oil but lacks labor. That's why there are lots of Filipinos there. It imports carpenters, engineers, nurses, and other professionals. And mind you, class, almost 80 plus percent. It's like 85% of workers in Saudi Arabia are Filipinos. United States of America is considered abundant in raw materials, but it doesn't have everything to run on its own. That's why they import lots of things coming from China. Productive resources are very important in the economy. These are needed to create goods and services to satisfy the needs of people. Therefore, it is needed that analysis and decision strategies on how to produce these goods at the cheapest and without sacrificing others are very important. In the case of industrial countries such as United States, Japan, France, Germany, and Great Britain and other rich countries, they are capable of creating what we call as economic miracles. So like they create food out of out of very small sizes of arms, things like that. They create gigantic or huge fruits and vegetables, even if they're just created in the rooftop. They raise fishes and shrimps in the corners, things like that. So this is for the improvement of the quality of life of people. For example, Japan raises vegetables without soil. Can you just imagine this? Japan uses robots as solution to shortage of labor. Still, technology hasn't totally erased the presence of this one. This is the number one problem of economics, scarcity. Okay? Despite the technology, despite the innovations, they cannot still erase this word. Something is still missing. They still desire something and they can produce it. Okay? And the reason behind is that it is because our human wants are unlimited. Okay, what do we mean? Man is megalomaniac. Megalomaniac. Mega means millions, maniac means desire. Okay? And some of these desires are extreme. We have millions of desires. Like you are living in a house right now. How many rooms? It's like one room or two rooms. What do you desire? How I wish our house should be, 4 rooms. So, okay, what if God is going to grant you 4 rooms? The next thing you are going to say is, I wish we have a second floor. Okay? And then what if God is going to give that second floor of your house? The next thing that you will desire is how I wish I have a swimming pool. Okay? Oh, I wish I have a parlor room, something like that. Okay? I want a music room being added. You keep on desiring. So it's unlimited. It doesn't stop. It ends when we die. You can just imagine there's somebody dying and they ask him, okay, what is your wish? And then his wish is that how I wish my children are going to have this and that. So, okay, even if the person is dying, there are still wishes, okay, or wants. So, you see, it's unlimited. And this is our number one problem. We create robots, okay, still we are not satisfied with these robots accomplishing things. So Japan already have, a nanny robot. Are you aware of that? There's a nanny robot. And if you have money, you can buy. You can buy one. The robot is going to do the washing of the dishes. Yeah, we are going to say, okay, or washing the dishes. It can wash your clothes. It can clean your room. Okay, but this is a robot. It doesn't have a brain. It cannot think for your assignments. It cannot, take your quizzes. And so the next thing you will desire is how I wish this robot is going to have the brain. Things like that. So uh, our wants are unlimited. Okay. So population has increased the demand for more goods and services. Production fails to adequately supply the needs of people. So the more basic causes of such shortage have been lack of money to purchase machine and technologies and improve the limits of geography. Okay? So you can simply read all these and they are very self-explanatory. let's proceed with the origin of economics. How did this subject economics came about? Are you aware that your parents doesn't have this subject when they were in college? Okay, so economics came from the Greek word oikonomia, and I'm going to tell you, economics also came from an Ilocano term. Mm. And it came from an Ilocano term, and Ilocano term is ekonomiya. Ekonomiya. If your mother is going to say, ekonomiya kayo man, okay, what does that mean? It means, household management, pagtitipid. However, the growth of the Greek society soon defined it as the management. Okay, but when we say economy, microeconomics, it's actually more of individual or family management. So economics emerged in 1776 with religion, philosophy, and political science. By the way, the father of economics is Adam Smith, who is from Scotland, because he was able to create lots of principles and statements regarding economics to the extent that he created the first economic book, Wealth of Nations, published in 1776, and this is now the basis for the teaching and learning of economics. Okay, so let us start defining economics. So economics is a social science. It's under social science. Social science means it is a study of people concerned with the use of scarce resources to obtain maximum satisfaction of the unlimited material wants of society. So I would like to underline the word maximum satisfaction. There's no such thing as um, actually, satisfaction, level of satisfaction. As we have said a while ago, man has unlimited wants. Okay, so another is economics is the study of production, the way we produce goods and services, the distribution, how it is being consumed by people, selling and use of goods and services. Okay, but my favorite is this one. Economics is the study of how people use their limited resources to satisfy their unlimited wants. It is how people, okay, how people makes use of whatever they have, your money, your time, your talent, your land, your machines if you have them, okay, and how you use them in order that you are going to satisfy your wants. So economics is being divided into two, micro and macro. Micro is small or tiny. So we are talking about individual or family economics here. When we say macro, we are talking about national and international economics. Okay, so since we are in microeconomics, then we are concerned with the behavior and activities of specific economic units like you as an individual, your family, firms or organizations, industries, and resource owners like businessmen, entrepreneurs, and the like. Okay, so I already mentioned what macroeconomics is all about. So it deals with the economy as a whole. So we're talking about the nation with respect to income, price, foreign trade, that's international unemployment, and others. Okay, so the number one problem of whether it's macro or microeconomics is scarcity. I don't have money. I don't have land. Okay, I don't have intelligence. I don't have a beautiful face, something like that. Okay, so something is scarce. Scarcity um, happens when our wants are greater than supply. So I need this, I need that, and yet there's no supply. Okay? With population increasing, the problem of scarcity got worse. So like for example, a family of 8 children plus mother and father. And then the father is the only one working and the father receives just minimum wage. Okay? Problem of scarcity will simply be at the worst condition. In fact, Thomas Malthus predicted that there will be widespread hunger because the rate of population growth is faster than the rate of production of food. Okay? In view of the problem on scarcity, the need for economics has become more urgent. So how are we going to solve this problem, scarcity? So let's have alternative choices. If we will have shortage of rice, what can we use as substitute? So maybe let's produce flour, if not bread, and other substitutes. Okay, let's have hamburger. And for sure, you're a lot happier with hamburger than rice. Okay, and we have also the use of the scarce resource wisely. So, well, if there is shortage of rice, what are we going to do? Then maybe we make use of whatever land available to produce rice. So instead of producing other vegetables, we produce rice. Okay, then application better management and appropriate technology. Why is it that other countries can produce like 60 sacks of rice with just a 10 square meter land? Why is it that in the Philippines we need to have 1 hectare before we can produce 60 sacks of rice? The reason in there is it's because we lack appropriate technology, okay, or better management skills or knowledge. So the greatest cause of the problem scarcity is of course no other than us. Do you agree? So men need physiological needs. Physiological needs refers to those that we need for our physical self. So we have food, shelter, and clothing. Okay. We also have higher needs. This is according to Abraham Maslow. We need self-esteem, and for sure you have lower needs in your psychology subject and other subjects that has something to do with social science. Sense of belongingness. That's why you have friends, you have your family, you have a favorite aunt or uncle. Okay, prestige, like pogi points, ganda points. Okay, power, the ability to control somebody, and also self-fulfillment, happiness. Okay? These needs have greater impact on the scarcity of goods and services. So not just our physical needs, but also these other needs. Because of these needs, we create scarcity. Okay? And the endless pursuit of wealth. Do you want to become rich in the future? I know for sure you will say yes. Who says no here? Says no, I'm going to live to become poor, or I'm just satisfied with what I have at home. Nobody says that. Okay? Everybody try to see every opportunity of making money, okay, and to become wealthy. So we have, aside from getting wealth, man is not satisfied. Man wants to have fame, okay, vanity, popularity, and then power. Okay, all of this was being designed by Adolf Hitler, and see what happened to him. Okay, and aside from that, man has created social and economic injustice. So because of those pursuit of wealth, this is going to happen. Social and economic injustice. This has not only produced greater scarcity of goods and services, but also unjust distribution of income and wealth. That's why you see somebody with car and 10-story building, then you see somebody without anything at all in the streets. Likewise, the desire for money has ruined the social and moral values of many in business and in government. Presence of graft and corruption and field health is at the in the monitor right now because of graft and corruption. Okay, let's talk about the role of government in economics. So in a capitalist system, okay, just like the Philippines or let's say United States of America, the distribution of goods and services are unequal. Do you agree? Some of us are receiving higher income, some are receiving very low income, some with a 10-story house. There's somebody there who doesn't have a house at all. There are some who are driving very expensive cars, and there are some who are just using the public transportation. Those with money have the opportunity to acquire more better goods from the market. So as a result, there is concentration of goods and services on the rich people than the poor. Okay, so well, if that is the case, here comes now our government, and the government most often is siding the poor. Have you heard of the four P's? Four P's. Okay, I know for sure you've heard them most especially during our quarantine period. So hence the government through social services steps in. So we have the TSWD, we have PTI, DOLE, then agencies like that who steps in. Okay, what do? They cater to the needs of the poor. And that's the role of the government to see to it that the gap between the rich and the poor is not too great. Okay? The government helps in decreasing the gap through what? They tax the rich more than the poor. So if your house is made of bamboo, most often you can be exempted from taxation. But if your house is made of bricks, made of cement, your tax is a lot higher. Okay? Security programs like free education. So who goes to the public school? It's the poor people. Who goes to the private school? Those with money. Free housing. Okay? Uh, we don't see this much in the Philippines, but in other countries, their governments create free housing for the poor. We have also services of disability for orphaned children. We have also services for mother women and so on. Then our government creates this legislation or making of laws that most often favor the poor, like single parents are entitled to more leaves in their workplaces. Okay. Then we have also uses of microeconomics. So why do we learn microeconomics? What is this for? What for? So economics provide the basic tools for decision making. Okay? Is there any need for us to take up a business course. Okay? What is going on in the market right now? If I'm going to take up a business course and I will finish this in 4 years, will I have employment? Those are some of the analysis that we have to create and the decisions that we have to make. Okay? The vaccine for COVID-19 is coming. Okay, are you making some analysis regarding this? Am I going to get it? Will I be really protected if I'm going to have it? So these are examples of decision making. Will I have my parents, my children have the vaccine? Is it safe? Okay, so microeconomics is going to provide you with some answers. Okay, so when we say basic tools, there are some computations, there are something like SWOT, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, analysis, things that we're going to do, and we will have decision making activities here. So I'm going to give you problems. Okay, what shall I choose? What will I do? Will I do action A, action B, or action C? So you are going to weigh consequences, and afterwards you are going to come up with a decision. That is what we do in microeconomics. Okay. So our economy, just like any other economy, faces many economic problems: shortage in oil, in cement, in rice, shortage in some courses, for example. Lots of nurses, but we have few doctors. Okay, we have lots of tourism and human hotel and restaurant students, but we do not have taxonomy students. You know what taxonomy is? This has something to do with naming of plants and animals. So UP you have this course, and they have like one or two students enrolled, even if they are actually giving up um, slots for scholarships, and still students are not coming to the course. Well, we need them actually. We need taxonomies because we need to identify bacteria, viruses, and new plants coming out in our environment, and yet we only have a few. Okay, so such business and government problems need economic analysis through microeconomic methods. For instance, how can the shortage or oversupply be minimized? Okay. So there are instances wherein we have shortages in the market. I'm going to tell you, for example, ginger. Ginger in our market is already turning 200 pesos per kilo. You try to go to a store today, right now, and then look for ginger. Try it. And they're going to tell you, I'm selling this at just a 3 inches size ginger is going to cost you like 20 pesos or 30 pesos. When we used to have that at 5 pesos. Okay? So what policies could be imposed? How much tax is appropriate to improve or reduce production? Economics is the answer. So let's have some evaluation. You are going to do this. Define economics in your own words. I do not like copy paste. I would like you to write your definition immediately after you saw me explaining. So what is the nature of economics? State the steps in methods of economics. What are the 3 basic economic problems? Why do we have economic problems? You give examples. Define labor-intensive technology. Should the Philippines use it? Why is man the greatest maker of scarcity? Give an example where microeconomics can be used. And I would like you to simply give your answer in short sentences. Okay, grammar is very important in here. Um, Guidelines for checking. So we have 5 points if it's exemplary, 2 points, 2 points, and 1 point. So we have rubrics. This is my basis for checking your work. If you are interested, you can come to our colleges and we have these books. If not, you can make use of the internet. Okay, Google things so that you will be able to understand. So thank you very much for listening to me today. Once again, this is Grace Nabalanan, your instructor for my course.